Hi everyone, this is Wanda from Sam Desire. Today we're going to be making is braided loop. Ignore the Christmas colors. I was supposed to post it since I forgot. So it was requested that I make a loop and a start for the bracelet I made, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial. I have already cut my strings. I cut one string of each color to be about 63 inches. Then I cut another one to be 31 inches. So I have 3 long strings and 3 short strings, and then one of those short strings I extended by 10 inches because I was going to use it to make the loop. So the longer string, the 63-inch strings, we are going to fold them in half. Then we're going to take the shorter strings and hold the edges, leave about an inch, and we're going to put them put the shorter strings in the middle of the long strings, so that they just have the same edge on the same size. I hope you can see what I'm doing rather than what I'm saying. Now I'm just going to hold that middle. You can see the short strings, and I'm going to take the other one I extended, the one for the loop, and I'm going to make a loop. Now, making loops is a series of backward and forward knots, which means making the first half of a backward knot and the second half of the forward knot. And I'm going to do it again. And the whole point is that you do this for as long as you want to, because every loop depends. If you're going to make the loop I'm making, your loop has to be about 0.75 inches to 1 has to go into itself because it comes out like a triangle. But if you're going to make it like a teardrop loop, your loop doesn't have to be up to an inch. It could be like 0.5. Then again, everybody's loop should be their personal preference. So if you're a beginner, I advise you to keep playing around with the loop. You probably get the one you like. And I think this is a length that is okay for what I want to do, because I want it to be long enough or wide enough for my string to be able to pass through when I want to tie my bracelet at the end. That's just what I look at. Now, you see the strings I'm holding, the uneven ends? We are going to pull those strings so that it enters our loop and it's out of the way. You could just cut it off, but I don't like to do that. Weird. So I got the wrong string. I'm just going to pull that red string and see if that's the correct one this time. It is. So I'm just going to keep pulling it until when it just enters our loop. I'm not going to pull it much. It's going to be inside the loop a little. There, it's gone. Oh no, it's still showing. Pull it a little bit more. One more time. Okay, there. Now I'm going to pull the white this time. And I'm going to do the same way. Pull it until when it gets into the loop. So it's hidden there and I don't have to cut it off later. Now that's okay. I'm not going to do the same for the green because I used the green to make our loop. So that is not possible. Now taking the other side, the same string but the one on the other side, the longer part, I'm going to make a forward knot. Now usually I would make I'll make a square knot, but I decided that I wanted to make a forward knot instead because it seems easier since we're bracelet makers, we already know that knot. So I'm going to make the second half now, and there. All my strings are now in one bunch, which is the way I wanted it to be at the beginning. So now we're actually going to begin our start. What we just did was the loop. We're going to actually start the triangle now. So we're going to arrange it. I'm going to put all the whites on the left. That's 3 strings of white on the left. I'll pull that and just push it to one side. And now what I'll have left are 3 strings of green and 3 strings of red. Now I'm going to pair them up. So I'm going to have 3 pairs. 1 green, 1 red. Put that to the right. Then let the other one just sit there and move the white away. So this is what we have currently. So taking the first green, I'm going to make 1 backward knot over the red. So I'm going to take the one closest to the white and I'll start from there. So I'm making 1 backward knot over the red. That's 1 half. This is the second half, and I'm moving that to the right side too, out of the way. Now I'll take the next pair. Now use the green string and make 2 backward knots over the red strings. and then move that string that you just used to the left, sorry. Now take the last pair. Take that last the green string of the loop and hold it to the first red string and make a back one over both of them, so that we somehow secure that string there, and make the second half of the back one up. And now if you want to, you can just cut off the green string. I'm not going to now, I'll do it at the end of this video, and make the remaining loops. Now this part that I'm showing you is the beginning of another bracelet, the braided leaf bracelet. If you can actually just watch the tutorial for that one because it goes more in depth there. I'm just showing you how I started that bracelet. Now going to the white side, I'm showing you how I start from the left. Now I'm just going to make the same thing, but instead I'm going to take the first string, the one closest to the green in the middle now, and I'm going to make 3 forward knots. So 1 knot over each bracelet. You see you have some little strings sticking out on the left. That's part of the bracelet. It's the braided leaf bracelet. So I've done the 3 knots. I move white to the right this time. Take the next closest white string there, and now we're going to make 3 forward knots over the green strings. With the last white string, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make 3 forward knots over the green string. So if you notice, we're just going to be making the same forward knots, and now by this time all our strings are in position, so we know which one's the first string, which one's the last string. So it's all just easier. And I'm just going to show you again from the right. We take the red string, take the first red string, and make 3 backward knots over the white strings. So here we've gotten into the pattern of the bracelet, and we're done with this start. I just realized I didn't film how I ended this bracelet. Maybe that will be in a completely different tutorial. But if you would like me to post that, please let me know. Or if you don't want me to, you can figure it out, then there's no need. But I do have an ending for this in the braided leaf tutorial, which I will be leaving a link to in the description. And it will pop up at the end of this video. Thank you. And if you do not know how to start a basic loop, that's the backward forward knot thing I did in the beginning, I have a different tutorial that I will also leave links in the description below for you to go to. And if you're still confused, then just give me a month. I am going to make a whole playlist about how to make different kinds of starts and ends. And this is the finished work of what I've showed you. I call it the braided loop. I'm very sure it has a name, I just don't know what it's called. And this time I'm just going to trim off that green string I used for our loop. Just one snip there, and I'm gone. So this is what it looks like at the back. You wouldn't even know it was there in the first place. And this is it. Bye.